Have you ever felt like you're doing all the right things? You're using the treats, you're practicing the commands, you're even being consistent, but your dog just still fully isn't like getting it. You're not getting the results you thought you were get because it's frustrating. I know. And it's because tricks and treats can only take you so far. Right? Leadership with your dog really needs to go deeper than obedience, deeper than treats. It's about trust and relevance and understanding who your dog is at their core. Leadership isn't about controlling your dog, it's about helping them feel safe and understood and connected to you. And how you lead, well, that depends on your dog's unique dogonality. That's right, we're talking about dogonalities again. This time, how to be the leader your dog needs without treats and tricks. Let's get into it. Ready to have a calm and peaceful life with your dog without the stress of those fear-based behaviors? Hi, I'm Tracy, and I've been there, overwhelmed by all the conflicting dog training advice and unsure of what to do next. But now I help dog lovers like you simplify your life with your dog by building confidence naturally, fostering trust, and addressing those fear-based challenges. So, if you're ready, stop chopping those chicken wieners and let's get to it. Well, hello, my dog-loving friend. It is Tracy. Welcome to Beyond Obedience, the podcast. I am excited about this particular, almost controversial. Is it controversial? I don't know, maybe, right? The how to be a leader your dog needs without tricks or treats. Oh! I know. I said leader and it sounds like I'm bashing treats. I'm not really. I'm just saying your relationship with your dog can be so much more than just treats for tricks. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying, right? Because sometimes, like, I don't know, maybe you felt like you're doing all the right things and you're using treats and you're practicing commands and you're being consistent and your dog isn't fully trusting you or getting it or listening to you. It's hit and miss. I don't know. It's frustrating. I know that. And that's, I think, because tricks and treats and all of those things can only take you so far. Now, listen, there are, and we're going to get into this a little bit more, but there are personality types, dogonality types that love working for treats. And those dogs are one type of personality. But then there are other dogs that are like, treats, I'm going to take them because I'm hungry and I'll eat it. But it's not actually moving the needle for the relationship. It's not changing things for me. And I think that is probably the most maybe frustrating of it all, is that I'll see that all the time. I'll watch dogs working for food and I'm like, they're just working for the food. And at first glance, you're like, well, of course, that's what I asked them to do. But really, is that what you really want them to do? Do you really want them to look at you like you're just a big old Pez dispenser of treats? No, of course you don't. You want to try to find ways to connect with them. And then treats can be the gravy of your relationship, the cherry on the top of your relationship. I'm talking poutine and cake all at the same time. It can be either the gravy on your poutine or it can be the cherry on your cake. I don't know. The point is, the frosting on your cake, is it a cherry on top? Oh my gosh, so many food things. I must be hungry. The point is that I'm not bashing treats. I'm saying there's more to it, So today, I wanted to talk about how you can be an incredible leader. And by now, if you've been following me for a while, we know leader isn't a bad word. Leadership is not a bad word. It's not a bad word. Somebody tells you, I can't listen to that podcast because Tracy says leader too much. Well, then you're not for me, because I believe not only is leadership not a bad word, but it is your duty. It is your responsibility as your dog's guardian to guide them through Humansville. And the only way to do that is through leadership. I don't care what you say. There, I'm making a stand. I'm making a stand. I'm coming in strong today. Today, I wanted to talk about how you can be the best leader for your dog based on your dog's unique Dogonality. I know I'm talking a lot about the dogonalities because I really do think it's a great tool to have in your toolbox to understand your dog at this level. But today I'm going to actually hone in and focus in on what kind of leadership style, what kind of leadership personality you need based on your dog's unique dogonality. Now, if you're just joining me today, if you're brand new to the podcast and you're like, what is she talking about? My dog's dogonality. Don't worry, there's still time. You can take the dogonality quiz. Created a fun little quiz. You just go to beyondobedience.ca/quiz. Just take that quiz. It's a few questions. You're going to get an email message from me plus some subsequent emails to help you really build the best relationship you can for your dog. But today we're talking about it on the podcast. So no worries if you haven't done it. I mean, you could pause. You could pause the podcast if you wanted to and go quickly take it. If you take the quiz and be like, okay, now I know what I'm talking about. But we don't want to rush it. So I'm going to explain to you the different ways that I approach dogs based on their dogonality. Okay. From like a trainer point of view, from a dog lover point of view, I'm going to be breaking it all down today. So let's start with the dogonality that I like to call the sensitive soul. Oh, something just popped up on my computer. Hold on. I'm going to try to keep going. There we go. Didn't stop it. All right. I like to call this dogonality the sensitive soul. They are what I would call a right brain introvert. Right brain meaning they are instinctual, overthinking. They tend to innately be more instinctual. And introvert just means they don't like to move their feet. So for the sensitive soul, like the right brain introvert, leadership is about safety and encouraging movement. What do I mean by that? Well, our sensitive souls tend to get into their head a lot. They're very, very much instinctual. They're stuck in survival mode. They are, their life is controlled by what's going on in the environment. Is that a threat? Is that going to kill me? Oh my God, I'm going to die. That's what goes on. And what happens with them, because they're introverts, they don't like to move their feet. They get stuck, right? So they look on the outside like they might even be obedient. Like they might like be sitting there quietly beside their owner. But you can tell because their eyes are kind of darting back and forth that internally, they're freaking out. Their body's not moving, they're frozen, but internally they're freaking out. They're like, oh my God, I'm going to die. 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 Right. And that anxiety will sometimes build and build and build. Sometimes these dogs will often be frozen and then explode, right? Because it just builds up to a point where they can't take it anymore and they have to move. So when I'm with one of those dogs, if I'm with an RBI, if I'm with a sensitive soul, and I notice that they get stuck in any way, they're stuck, they're not moving their feet, I'm going to lead them by gently encouraging them to move their feet. I don't want them to stay stuck there. I want them to actually move their feet a little bit, even if moving their feet means we have to retreat. If I can't get them to go forward, I have to get them to do something. I have to let them move and get that energy that's building up inside them out of them before it becomes an explosion, because those explosions are erratic. That's when they just lose it and they get so caught up in the fear. So we're going to encourage that motion, right? Because we're going to teach them that it's safe to move with me. I'm going to work on movement with me. Ways to guide my dog to move with me. I want to make sure that I'm calm, predictable. I'm going to slow my body language down. I'm going to be soft and calm and quiet. And I'm going to ask my dog to move. And I'm going to celebrate those little movements and those focuses in on me. That idea that I'm just like, focus in on me because I'm your safe place. I'm your safe space right now. And all of my leadership stuff that I do around this dog is based on this idea that I'm your safe space. You can trust me, right? Because for the sensitive soul, leadership isn't about forcing them to move forward. It's about encouraging them and proving that wherever they go, wherever you are, I will be there with you to guide you with calm confidence. Okay? In contrast to that, let's take a look at a right-brained extrovert who's confident. So the right-brained extrovert who's confident, these guys are right-brained, so they're instinctual, but they're extroverts. So that means they like to move their feet and they're confident. So these guys are I call them fearless explorers, right? They're going to be the ones that are driven in prey drive. They're going to be seeking, searching, hunting all the time. Leadership for them is about engaging and not trying to control them, right? It's you have to find this way to get into their world in a way that they go, okay, you get it, you see my prey drive, but you also want to be able to prove to them that you have what it takes to not only see the prey drive, but to lead them, to pull them out of their right braininess and into a little bit of left brain to think about you, to start using their thinking side of their brain with you, right? So these dogs love the adventure. They're using the prey drive. I don't necessarily want to, quelch that. I don't want to be like the one that's like, no prey drive for you. That's not, because first of all, you won't win. Like, you're not going to win. That's one of the things that I've said. High prey drive dogs are my RBEs, my right brain extroverts that are confident. I need equipment. And again, equipment can mean equipment, training equipment, but also food and treats and rewards and toys and tugs. And I need to pull out some things. I need equipment to level the playing field there, because I am never a person with so much ego that I believe that I can trump prey drive, because I can't. I am never going to be as much fun as chasing and killing things. That's how am I supposed to compete with that? I can't. I got to use some equipment there. Toys, tug, play drive. I'm going to be, utilizing food in a different way. I'm in a way that is prey-driven way, not in a bribery way, but in a prey-driven way. You see what I mean about how my leadership style with an RBE, who's confident, is way different than my leadership style from an RBE who's, or an RBI, right? A right brain introvert. That sensitive soul, I got to be a different leader for those dogs. Let's make it a little bit more complicated, because there's one more profile that's on the right brain side. And that is the right brain extrovert who's unconfident. Now, some can argue that this, I'm splitting hairs here, because they're technically, they might be part of the same as the right brain introvert. That's just they've gotten too overwhelmed. But there are some right brain extroverts. The right brain extroverts mean same thing. They're instinctual. Their instincts are driven by fear, but they're unconfident about it. So they're bolty and flighty. They just gotta run, gotta go. Can't stand here. Can't keep my feet still. I'm gonna die. If I stay still, I'm gonna die. That's how they feel. So imagine my leadership style is gonna have to be a little bit different from them, because leadership for them is about not only understanding their fear and creating safety, but knowing how they process fear naturally. Shameless plug here, and I'm going to say this. If you are somebody who got an RBE who's unconfident, so an overwhelmed runner, if that is the Dogonality type that you got, and you are, and you're like, yeah, this is my dog, I'm going to encourage you, gentle push, a little nudge here. You need to be inside the Fearful Dog Fearless Framework program. You need to be in that incredible program for fearful dogs, because that's where you're going to learn and understand how dogs process fear, how they see the world through, like, you're going to see it in a whole new way. You're going to see fear in a whole new way, but you're also going to know exactly how you need to be there to influence them. How do you lead a dog that thinks everything is going to kill them? You're going to find that out if you're in that program. So I'm telling you, that's where you need to be. Okay. Shameless plug, but also you should be there. Okay. Shameless plug, but you should be there. So those are my right brain dogs. Those are all my instinctual dogs. The difference is one of them moves their feet, one of them doesn't move their feet, one of them is confident, and one of them is unconfident. Okay, so those are my right brain dogs, the sensitive soul, the overwhelmed runner, and the fearless explorer. Okay, so if you've taken the quiz, figure out which dog is yours, because we're moving on now to the left brain. The left brain dogs are my thinking dogs. These are the dogs that access quite easily the thinking side of their brain. That is the brain that holds all of the English as a second language. That's your obedience work that you've been doing. That's the brain that helps, that's the side of the brain that helps them navigate humansville a little bit better because they're tuned into their humans, the left brains. All right, let's talk about the left brain introvert. My left brain introverts, these are what I like to call the calm thinkers. And if you got one of these dogs on your Dogonality quiz, leadership for these guys is about earning their trust and proving your value. And it sounds as bad as it sounds. It is as bad as it sounds. I have been humbled by the left brain introverts. Those dogs that you're like, they come across as being aloof or stubborn. They're just like, what's in it for me? You ask them to do something, they're like, I don't feel like it. I don't want to. Because they're left brain, they're thinking dogs. They're very, very smart. They just don't like to move their feet. But if you're not somebody worth following, they're like, why would I? Doesn't seem like it's important for me at all. I don't want to do it. So these dogs are very independent and thoughtful, and they're not easily impressed, right? They don't need you in the same way that other dogs might. They really don't. And for them, leadership is about you proving that you're somebody worth following. These are the dogs, too, that I will say when you use food, they will come for food. They will do things for food. And that is all they're doing it for. They don't give a rat's patootie about you. They don't care literally about the method of how they got the food. They're just getting the food. Right? So you want to be really, really careful. I utilize food with the LBIs. I do. I try to do it in a way that makes it a little bit more interesting, makes it a little bit, gauges their thinking side of their brain, because these dogs are smart, right? But we tend to just kind of be like, they're slow. They're slow and steady. They don't like to move their feet. They seem unmotivated. We then become unmotivated leaders and we just get by. And you can make it so much more deeper if you get to them, right? Show them that you're somebody worth following. What's in it for them? What's the purpose, right? Be intentional, be consistent, avoid overcomplicating things, and also let them think it through, right? Let them be the thinker in it, and then delight in how smart they are, because they really are smart. Okay, for the calm thinker, leadership is about saying, I know where we're going, and here's why it matters. When they see the value in following, they'll trust you more. That's the bottom line. All right. Now, on the other side of my left brain introverts is the left brain extrovert. Now, I left these guys to the end because I like to call these guys the life of the party dogs. They are the life of the party. For leadership for LBEs, or life of the party dogs, it's about structured fun. Like, you have to find that balance of making it fun. So these guys are movers and thinkers. They love fun, but that fun can easily spiral into absolute chaos. And if they don't have boundaries or left to their own devices, they'll make up their own damn fun. They will make up their own damn fun. They need leadership that's going to keep that structured, but also keep the speed and the thinking and the fun involved. And that can be challenging. And who are my LBEs? Let's be honest. LBEs are a lot of your working breeds. Okay, your left brain extroverts or life of the party dogs, they are your border collies. They're your Australian shepherds. They're your shepherds in general. They're working breeds. These dogs are smart, but they move their feet. And their brains are fast, but their feet are faster. And it's really hard for us humans to keep up with them, both mentally and physically. It's hard to keep up. Ever watch, like, I'm always amazed at the ability of the handlers for agility. Have you ever watched the border collies go through agility? Well, not just the border collies, but any of the agility dogs that are really, really speedy. You ever watched how skilled the handlers have to be to stay in front of their dogs? Like, that's mad skill. I don't have it. I can't run that fast. I don't have it. But I am amazed by it. But that's kind of what you need. And that's why agility is such a great teamwork event for LBEs. Life of the Party dogs, it's great teamwork, right? It's literally everything for them. But you have to be a leader who's fun. You can't be like a play by my rules kind of person, because that's no fun. They won't follow you. They don't like that. But you have to have some rules, right? You need to make sure that we're still engaging that thinking side of the brain. You have to be excited and engaging the world around them, but don't let it be a free-for-all. Okay, there has to be some structure. That's why, as I say, agility is a great match for the LBEs, right? Clear boundaries with your games. Making sure that they're still tapping into that left brain, right? They're still tapping into that thinking side. And you're going to use playful leadership. Be a little bit unpredictable. Be dynamic to keep their attention on you. Be the source of the fun, right? Not the one that's always shutting it down, right? Be the source of the fun. For the life of the party, leadership is about being the DJ of their energy. You keep the rhythm, you set the tone, and you make sure everybody's having a good time. But, it's got to be on your terms, right? We got to get those leadership points. It's got to be on your terms. Still got to be on your terms. So there you go. I hope that helps. I hope that you kind of got an idea about why I developed the Dogonality quiz and why I broke down the Dogonalities like this, because it allows you as the partner with your dogs to kind of see them, who they are, and then sort of mold your leadership style to play to their strengths instead of playing against their strengths. So leadership is never about control or treats or even obedience cues. It's literally about trust and relevance and understanding how your dog is wired to think and feel. And when you understand your dog's Dogonality, you'll know exactly how to show up as the leader that they need, not just the one you think they should have. There you go. I think that's a perfect place to call it a day on this topic. Did you like this topic? Would you like more about this? Because I get into, if you like more, then make sure that you've taken the quiz, because you're going to get a lot more information about that. But that just is like a sort of a sample of how you can start to figure out how to show up and be the person that your dog needs you to be, right? And help them to reach their fullest potential, right? That's what leadership really is about, if you think about it. Leadership is really about, being the leader that allows your dog to reach their fullest potential. So, of course, obviously, if you haven't taken the quiz, go take that quiz. If you're new to me and you're like, oh, that sounds like fun, go to beyondobedience.ca/quiz. Once you get the results, be sure that you're in the Living Beyond Obedience group and share what you've learned. We're going to have a post up there for all the different Dogonalities and some different thoughts on that. And a final thought that, being the leader your dog needs isn't about you being perfect. Let's be clear, okay? But it is about being present. It's about showing up every day with trust and understanding and confidence to guide them through Humansville. And the way that you do that is to understand who they are and celebrate it, embrace it, and partner up with them the way that they need it to be. So there you go. All right. Listen, if you liked this episode, be sure to run on over to Apple and give me a 5-star rated review, because it really does help to push the podcast out to more and more people. If you're not on Apple, you're listening to Spotify, you can rate it over there. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you're loving this kind of stuff. Or do me one better, share it on your socials. Share the quiz. Just Put in your socials. Hey, go to beyondobedience.ca/quiz. Take this Dogonality quiz. Let me know what you want. Like, let me know what you got. We can have some fun together finding out what everybody's Dogonality is. It's going to be awesome. Do that. Whatever you can do to help push this out to more and more dog lovers like you and I would really, really appreciate this. And as always, get out there today, my friend, and be the person that your dog thinks you are, because your dog thinks that you are amazing. And so do I. Have a fantastic day. I will see you in the next episode. Bye for now. Oh, and one more thing. This podcast is meant for entertainment and education purposes only and is not meant to replace hands-on professional training. If you're really struggling with your dog, please reach out to a professional in your area. All right, I think that's it. Bye for now.